Firebird update. I'm going to apologize for the very crappy lighting. It's about 9 o'clock right now. And I'm working with some shop lights in my garage. Anyway. Over the winter, I swapped turbine housings on this car. And a lot of people have probably given me quite a bit of flack about it because of the fact that I'm running GT 3582 turbos. And actually, you know what, I'll move up front here and show you. Excuse my messy garage. But I'm running twin GT 3582 turbos. And I was having an issue where spool time, it took all the way through first gear and I'd have to click into second to get the turbos to spool. Once I got into second gear, they would be up and lit. But even then, I was having issues with boost dropping off. And I'll insert a photo in this video here and show you that I was at this pool was at the drag race, and I got through first gear, as you can see here, and then shifted into second. And the time I shifted into second and shifted into third, boost dropped almost 4 pounds on shift. It would slowly work its way up until I got to the top of the RPM band and shifted again. Which I'm pretty sure, all things equal, I believe that was from the turbine housing. So I'm running, as I said, GT 3582s. So it's a 62 millimeter inlet on the compressor side, which I measured and verified. And I don't remember what wheel the turbine wheel is. I've never really measured it. But it had an 82 AR turbine housing, a T3 footprint. And I was like, well, I found the turbine housings on eBay for $200 for the pair, so they're 100 each. I picked them up, I got them in, and I swapped them over the winter. So I went from, as I said, an 82 to a 63 AR. Pretty big size difference, as you can see in this photo. And then once I got them installed, I did an A/B test on the car. Didn't change anything with the tune. Didn't change anything with the car besides the turbine housings. That was it. Took it for a test drive, and it finally felt like, I believe, a way a turbo car should, which is, and everyone has their differences in opinion. I like to feel power come in at least somewhat at a decent time. And power's coming in, I would say probably around 3,500, maybe 4,000 RPM instead of all the way at redline. So it moved the power band down, and I actually am able to get into boost, a decent amount of boost in first gear. I wouldn't say full boost, but a decent amount. By second gear, I'm at it. And the one hit I did on the street, and I'm running a very crappy street tire right now. I got it through first gear, clicked into second way early because the tires were already on fire, which it would never do before in first gear. I was always on the 1-2 shift is when it ignite the tires. And it absolutely annihilated the tires in first gear before I even shifted. So I shifted into second, then shifted into third, and just pedal fested it. And I'll show you that data log here. And you'll also see on this data log that the fact that boost, besides for the times of pedaling, pretty much stayed as level as you could expect for the amount of pedaling you're seeing in this data log. It was relatively a flat line of about 10 to 11 pounds of boost. There was no massive boost drops on shifts. And mind you, this wasn't a perfect A/B test. I mean, the last data log was at the drag strip. This is on the street. Drag strip, I had traction. Here, I don't. So on the street, I didn't. So it's not a perfect A/B test, but it's also the middle of March, and there's no drag strips open in my area yet. So it was a proof of concept. It's definitely helped spool time. I think the car is going in the right direction. So because of that, I didn't really want to wait till a drag strip opened to finish doing an A/B test because I want to go swinging this time. So I've got the car on jack stands, and I should state this. Friday, which was today's Monday, so Friday I had the car out and doing burnouts, doing a couple of Mexico hits because of the fact that it was like 70 degrees. Then this weekend I was sick and it dropped down to like 30s or whatnot. Right now it's it was 45 before the sun went down, and it was just warm enough that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. I have gotten another, and I don't have it out here with me. I should have grabbed it. I took the trans out of it. So, let me walk around here. The transmission's currently out of the car. The torque converter is right there. So, that's the old torque converter. It's a factory torque converter. I'm going to get the numbers off of it and make sure. But it's stalled at like 16 to 1700 RPM. It was a really, really low stall. I'm pretty sure it's either, I don't know if it's a diesel torque converter, but it's the low stall GM torque converter for a 480E for sure. I found, and I don't have it over here with me, but it's in my other garage. I found a GM high stall converter for this deal. So, now it's definitely probably not what the car should have, but I'm not made of money, and this car's a budget, this is a bottom budget car, so it's what it's getting. All said and done, I bought it for, I think I spent like $135 on this torque converter, which is definitely, it lists for $220 something, but I got it with a deal, and the guy that I knew that works at the parts place helped knock down the price, yada yada yada. So, all said and done, I paid like $130, I think it was like $135 for it, and it's called the GM88H, and I'll throw a photo of the torque converter in the video here. And that torque converter was supposed to come behind a 4.3 V6 and a 4L80E combination and an Express 3500 van. It is supposed to stall between 22 and 2400 RPM. And I'm not sure if it'll stall that high on this car because it's definitely lighter than an Express van, obviously. But I'm willing to give it a shot. It was a cheap enough converter. It doesn't take, I had maybe 2 hours, and I wasn't even full bore working on the car because I worked all day, just came home and fiddled with it in the evening. But I got the transmission out. Oh, there goes my creeper. Got the transmission out, and got the torque converter out. As you can see, obviously it's on my floor. And probably won't be able to touch the car again till Friday. But this Friday I'm going to put the new torque converter in it and get it back together, and then do another street hit. Mexico hit. Then, what is it? I've got a camshaft. I technically have two different camshafts for the car. I'm not 100% sure which one I'm going to go with yet. I kind of want to see what the torque converter is going to do before I decide. I've got one that a buddy of mine, Mike Novak, gave me. That's out of an LS3, or it's for an LS3 camshaft, which I think would be a lot better suited for my goals with the car. I have one of those, and I also have a sloppy stage 2 regrind cam. I can't remember the guy's name. I want to say his first name was John. I've got that camshaft that I may or may not put in the car. It matters how the torque converter stalls. That camshaft is going to get used. I told him that I was going to do a review on it, and I'm going to review it because it's cheaper as a regrind than it is as a new one. I'm not sure if it's cost effective. I don't know, but I figured I'd give it a shot. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to go in this car. I actually have another project coming down the pipeline that I was going to keep off social media, but I don't think I have a choice. I think I'm going to have to bring it to light because of things going on for my business. So, pretty much in long, I guess, that is the update on the Firebird. I'm getting ready to order tires for it. I had bias plies, which are actually up in the attic of this garage right now, that I ran last year. They looked horrendous. They stuck out from underneath the fender. Like, for instance, you can see the fender right here and how the tire is pretty much underneath the fender. Those bias plies stuck out like right out to here, and it was dumb. It was a safety hazard. I probably shouldn't have done it. The tires were far enough away from the fender where it wasn't a big issue. Right now it's on jack stands, but I don't want to have that issue again. I don't want to, blow a tire out at speed or anything of the sort. So, the car is going to get, I'm going to get a 16-inch drag radial. Summit's got instant rebate on them right now, so I'm going to pick up a pair of those. And, what else? I got to get an adjustable panhard bar because the rear axle is not 100% centered underneath the rear of the car. Just to make sure the tires are all nice and happy and everything. I'm going to get my buddy to machine me a set of coil spring spacers because I need to bring the back of the car up just a hair. Whenever you launch the car, the rear of the car squats a little bit. And I know it's probably shock related, but this thing could use a set of like adjustable like QA1 or whatever shocks. Again, I'm not made of money. This is a budget car. I'm going to have my buddy make up some coil spring insulators just to pump up the back a little bit. We're going to try that. If it doesn't work, I could always take them out and go the other way. So, but pretty much that is what's going on with the Firebird. I'm very happy with the turbine housing swap at this point in time. I will also say that, and a lot of people said this, and I've told them I knew this already, but whatever. The fact that it could be, I mean, don't take my, take this information with a grain of salt. Obviously, it could be choking my motor whenever I start pushing it. Now, right now, on the hits I did, the VE has not changed. Normally, like for instance, whenever my exhaust was too small, and I realized this with not this turbo kit, but the last turbo kit I had on it with the diesel turbos. I tried to run insert muffler to get it quieted down a little bit, and you put the insert muffler in there, and your VE would drop like a hat. It was way too much restriction on the exhaust. So whenever I swapped from the 82 AR turbine housings to these 62s, my VE hasn't changed. Literally, I didn't even have to touch the VE table, and my fueling was dead on the way it was last year. Now, mind you, it is too rich. I need to lean it out a little bit. But, as I said, my VE hasn't changed. So, that's something else I gotta do with the car. I gotta lean it out a little bit in the tune-up. I bought a used methanol injection kit that I have to bench test first before I put it in the car. And I gotta figure out where I'm gonna put it because right now, I have very little real estate underneath the hood of this car. So, because of that, I don't have anywhere to put it. And I know like back here looks perfect except for the fact that that's an exhaust pipe. So it won't fit back there without melting it. So I'm thinking I'm going to go towards the back of the car, but I got to look at, even though this is kind of a joke, I do look at it. I gotta look at the roll, like the IHRA roll book, because that's the drag strip we have down here is IHRA sanctioned, and see if I need to like put it in its own little metal housing that's sealed up or what's going on, because I want to run methanol injection on this car to help with the IATs, because at speed going down the drag strip last year at a pool, my intake air temps would rise about 15 degrees on a pass. Now, doing Mexico hits, they rise almost 30 degrees, which is considerably different. So, because of that, I want to, pretty much I want to get methanol injection on the car and give that a shot, see how that works. I'm not 100% sure where I'm going to put my nozzle yet. I think I may need to, this is actually plastic right here, and it's a shock this thing still holds together, but it's been holding up great. I may need to change that elbow to a metal elbow, and then put a nozzle like right here, pointed right in, because of the fact that I would put it in this pipe, but my blow-off is right there. I don't want to have a big methanol, pretty much a methanol escaping whenever the blow-off valve opens up. So, I gotta just figure out what I'm gonna do with that. I may also swap intakes. Not 100% sure on that yet. There's a bunch of little odds and ends I've thought about doing with this car. I haven't decided yet. One other thing is like redoing because I already got a big hole cut in my hood. I guess right there. I've thought about getting a different intercooler setup because I need to put a cooling fan on the intercooler because the intercooler is not getting a ton of air, and I don't want to punch holes in the front bumper. Even though this is a budget car, I can't bring myself to do it. So, yeah, I could punch holes in the perfectly primed fenders just fine, but punching holes in the front of the bumper is just not. I'm not able to do it. I thought about it, but anyway, I'm gonna pull a cooling fan on that intercooler, and probably an air dam underneath of it, because like these factory cars had an air dam underneath to help catch air coming from underneath the car, and that's what helped run it through the radiator. I removed that originally, and I still have it. I might see if I can get it to fit back on there. If not, I'll build something out of sheet metal to help move some more air across that intercooler. But the other thought was, I know they sell them, or I think I've seen them sold, where they have like 2 inlets on the bottom and 1 up the middle. And I could cut my hood a little bit more, come right up the middle here, and go right into the throttle body. Which I think some of my cold air plumbing might be a restriction, and I may end up doing that. There's a lot of stuff with the car. Right now it's running, driving. I don't have a ton of time because of the business. So, well, it was running and driving until I did a converter pull tonight. But there's a bunch of little things I'd like to try with the car. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. Haven't, thought about it yet. And I've got another LS build in the pipeline. So once I get this car where I'm happy with it and I'm not going to keep tinkering with it for at least a few months, I'm going to hop on my next build, which I will be showcasing. I'm going to keep you guys in suspense right now, but it is going to be running a new product that I'm bringing out, and I've already mentioned this before, so I might as well mention it now. I am an official Speedino dealer through the business. I got together with Josh Stewart. He's over in Australia, and he is the creator of the Speedino movement, and he is the one that has created the Speedinos, and they're engine management systems that have more, even in their native form, have more inputs and outputs than a micro squirt. So once I get them built and tested, I gotta build and test one first, and I'm actually gonna build just an LS bench test stand to fire one up on to just verify that it works and everything's good. I found another guy that's running one. He has never gotten it on the road though, so I don't want to put it on the car right away. I'm gonna actually use my next LS project. It's gonna go on it first, test it, and I may put it on the car. I'm not sure. I haven't decided yet. But I need to test it on a bench engine. Then I'm going to put it in either my next LS build, which is going to be coming up this spring or summer. I should be starting on that. Or it's going to go on this car. Eventually, it's going to go on this car. That's the end game. But I need to get everything figured out before I do it, and before I start selling them. So I'll sell the kits that you can buy already. You can buy from Speedino and from other guys that sell the official Speedino stuff. However, I just won't be selling the LS-based stuff until I get it tested, because I don't want to put bad product out there. So, but that is going to be eventually also on this car. I'm going to be going away from the Megasquirt 2 and going on to that. What else? I think that's everything for right now. As I said, I'm going to keep you guys up to date with the torque converter stuff. I'm going to try to start shooting more videos. I know I've said that a couple times, but I really need to get a ball of it. I'm up to 900 subscribers, and that is insanity for what I'm doing. I'm very thankful for all of you guys and gals who are subscribed to my page. And as I said, I plan on bringing more content, definitely this spring and summer once I get this next build going. I'll be doing time lapses of building on it, which might get a little boring, but we'll see. I'm going to try to make it as entertaining as possible. And that one's going to be a fun build. It's not going to be drag race oriented. It is going to be a turbo LS. That is the plan. but it won't be drag race oriented. So I'll leave you guys in a little bit of suspense there about what I'm doing. I was gonna keep it off social media, but as I said, I don't think I'm gonna be able to because I'm gonna use it for business promotion, and obviously with Speedino testing because it's gonna be going on that vehicle, and it will be going on this too once I get everything figured out. So I guess that's all for this evening. If you like what you're seeing on this channel, please subscribe and invite your friends. I will be bringing more Arduino stuff to the vehicle. Data logger's coming. Data logger's figured out. So I'm probably gonna mount it on my dash for the time being. Get knock sensor input and G-force. That's the big hitters right now. I want to get some more map sensors and some other odds and ends to play with too for like back pressure testing and all that fun stuff. But the data logger's pretty much tested. So I gotta get that in the car and wired up, and just some other odds and ends. But I'm excited. This season's coming up quickly, and you're gonna start seeing more and more stuff about the Firebird and about my other Arduino projects coming along. So, as I said, if you like these videos, just subscribe, please, and share them. And I thank you for everyone who's subscribed to this channel. As I said, it is insanity that I'm up to 900 subscribers with what I'm doing. So thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.